What's up, guys? Today we have a very good interview for you. We got Tristan Wheeler of Richmond, aspiring NFL player. We think he's going to make it, but it's a very good one. Mike, any thoughts?
We know he's going to make it.
He is going to make it. And now for the interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. BT Podcast. Kyle here, Mikey here, and we have a special guest, Tristan Wheeler from Richmond, baby.
Yep, thanks for having me, boys. Let's go.
Here he is. Welcome to the studio, in-person interview.
Yep.
I love it. Before we were chatting, or before we started recording, of course we were talking about golf. Now you have the itch, correct?
Yeah, I got
you
it.
have the itch.
I'm
So,
in. Yeah.
How many times have you gone out now and golfed?
Probably too much. My bank account's kind of been struggling, but the boys and I go out pretty often. Try to get out at least once a week, whether it's a round of golf or we go to the range and crush buckets of balls. I try to swing.
So, like, the first time you went do you remember that one shot that was like, holy hell? Like,
Yeah,
I
guarantee all my shots were shanks, and then I had one, and I was like, "Yo, this is great." Yeah, and then we had the cigars and everything, just being out there. So I was hooked. First round.
Now, with your first, because my first clubs were for a buddy. Shout out to Curdy's dad and Curdy. They were like from at least like the 80s or the 90s. They were super small. I was bending like 90 degrees to like hit. Did you go out and buy like a used set, or did you just like get it from a buddy or something?
Yeah, so I actually didn't have anything because I'm not gonna lie. Before I played my first round, and they had to drag me out there because I was like big anti-golf guy. I was like,
Me too.
Like,
that's crazy.
This weak sport, like, bro, it's so boring. Takes no skill. I go out and I'm humbled immediately, and that's kind of what caught me too. Because like obviously I've had success in football, and I go out and I swing a club to hit this ball, and like I'm awful, awful. So I'm like, dude, this is extremely humbling that like the most athletic people can't hit a golf ball where they want it to go. So like it was kind of a challenge for me where I can like still like preserve my body and it's not like completely taxing on you, but you can go out and still like try to get better at it. So it was kind of like a thing away from football that I can compete with my boys and like try to perfect a different craft. So that's why it was cool.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like this sport, no matter how good you get, you can always get better.
Yeah,
like
100%.
You're never actually that great. You see on the PGA Tour all the time. I mean, like Scotty Scheffler, he could go out there and shoot a 66 and then follow it up with a 78, which is still very good. I would take a 78 any day of the week. But it's crazy how this sport, like no matter how good you are, even if you're number one in the world, it could kick your ass in a second.
Yeah, my boys, when we got together and we're watching like the tour and stuff, anytime someone hit in a bunker, we're like, dude, if they're hitting in bunkers, like we're good, dude. we can play with these guys. But yeah, like you can always get better. Like even those dudes can get better, even though they're the best in the world. It's a crazy sport.
Yeah.
It's so funny, like, watching it, too, because, like, I don't know, I feel like back in, like, school days, like, when you see golf on TV, it's like, why the hell would I watch this? At least for me. Like,
I was confused why my grandpa loved it. I was like, dude, what are you so, like, infatuated over? Like, I didn't get it. And then you start playing, like you said, you have that one hole where you, like, make par or, like, birdie, and then you're just like, dude, this is sick. And then just being with the boys and, like, getting drinks and stuff and doing stupid stuff with the golf cart. Dude, we can go into that story. I got one for you. All right, we'll hit it right now. Let's go. It's our bye week this last season. So obviously, like my biggest season, like going to the NFL, like we're having a good season at this point. It's our bye week late in the year, so we're like, all right, should we go paintballing? And like as captain, I'm like, dude, we can't go paintballing. Like someone's gonna tear their ACL trying to like jump over a log or something. So we're like, we were golfing at that time, like pretty often. Well, the summer before, so we're like, let's just go golfing. Like it's safe, not too taxing. So we go, probably 6 of us, and we're going, and we start getting the drinks going. We're like, all right, it's an off weekend. Let's get the drinks. And then we're at hole 8, and we're feeling ourselves already, and we're in the golf cart. And leading to hole 9, there's a bunch of signs saying caution, slow down, steep incline. Like 20 signs, like back to back. So, like, you should have been like, dang, all right, this is probably a steep incline.
Speeds up.
I look to my boy I'm driving. I look to my boy next to me, tight end for us. I'm like, yo, should I dump it down this hill? He goes, F it. I'm like, oh, all right, fine. And so it was like, it was a turn. Like, we were up here. It was a turn, and then it went steep. So we didn't see the actual hill. So we're like, all right, how much of a hill can it be? And we turn the corner, start going down. We both look at each other. Oh, shit. And we're going down, and it's like fall. It's near the end of the season. So there's leaves on the path and everything, and I'm slamming on the brakes, and we're skidding down 10 yards at least, turn sideways, and we catch a lip on the pavement, and it dumps us. So my side's down on the concrete. My big-ass tight end, 250, is laying on me, and my leg is under the golf cart, and it's dragging, getting, like, road rash under the golf cart. And windshield's busted, like, the front axle of the golf cart's busted, and he gets up. He's fine. The thing's stuck on my leg, and I can't get up. And all the boys behind me park their golf carts, have to deadlift it off my leg. I stand up, pants ripped, cuts all down the side of my leg, and they looked at my boy, the tight end. They're like, "Yo, you good?" And they're like, "Yeah, I landed on him." They look at me, "You good?" I'm like, "Yo,"
just like,
and I'm busted up like crazy. I go to practice that week, and I have like raw skin all down my leg, like what happened to you? And I'm like, don't even ask. And but the funny thing was, because I told you how my coach goes there, like he's a member there. Yeah. My coach, trainer, and another coach were like a few holes behind us. So we limped this golf cart back to the clubhouse. Like, it's busted. Like, it's going 3 miles per hour, like, limping back. Yeah. We're like, yo, when we get to the clubhouse, like, we're parking, we're all dipping. Like, we're not finishing this round of golf. And we get back, we dip, and we're like, okay, I think we're good. Our coach calls us, and he's like, yo, y'all have a good round of golf? We're like, yeah, like, it was all right. Like, we didn't play too well. He's like, anything exciting? We're like, nah, why? And they're like, oh, we got back to the clubhouse, and the owner asked, do you know those Richmond football players? And he's like, yeah, they totaled a golf cart. And then they're like, dang, those are our players. So I was like, yo, you think I'm going to have to pay for it? And they never ended up calling me. So a good story.
That's incredible.
We're not going back there, just put it that way. Yeah. But we had a time. It was a good story, you know?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, $70 pants, like the
yeah, there were some good pants, and
so you're basically like Scotty Scheffler, just drag them, you know.
Yeah, it's a memory though, you know. You can't put a price tag on memories.
No, yeah,
right?
Yeah, no, that was worth it. That's absolutely worth it.
Hey, but I'm just glad I didn't break a leg or something.
No,
dude, that would have been. How does that look? Yeah, how'd you get hurt? Golf cart accident. Yeah, like come
went
on.
Too fast down.
You would never
heard that. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So.
Especially after you're like, yeah, we can't go paintballing. Someone's going to jump over a log and hurt himself.
And that was the irony of it. Like, yo, let's find something safe. And then I almost freaking break my leg.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you were thinking about the right idea, though. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, paintballing, like, you try to jump over a rock, you roll your ankle, tear your ACL. Like, golf, you're just stationary, bam, hit a stationary ball. And then you're on Steel Forest down on hole 9.
Yeah,
and
you're literally.
Man,
that just happens. I'm not going to go into my drunk story.
No, yeah, we don't need that. But, no, let's get into the football here. I mean, like, I was looking through a bunch of your stuff over the last couple of days, and it's just like you see this mentality of like almost you have a chip on your shoulder. You know what I mean? When you're playing, even when you're just going through life, it seems like you got that chip on your shoulder. Like, not that you want to prove to people, but like you know how good you can be with everything. And when I was looking through your story, it's like, all right, you look at the stats, and there's this thing where like, yeah, NIL's out there. Like, he probably could have gone somewhere else, but he stuck it out at Richmond.
Yeah.
And you kind of helped change the narrative there. You know what I mean? Like, you went there, and I think you guys won the championship the last year, right?
Yeah,
I got
last
that right.
year
Yeah,
there.
last year, and won 2 years in a row, making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, all this stuff when you were there. And I just want to hear more about your mentality going through that whole decision process. Because I'm sure there was decisions that you had to make along the way there, especially with how good you were playing. So, yeah, I just want to hear about your mentality.
Yeah, that's actually cool that you noticed that. Because that was the whole thing, but it really starts based on the mindset thing that you said.
Yeah,
that starts in high school. Like I like humbly say 25 offers. Like not to like brag on myself, but it was a lot comparatively to others. But like I was always going for the Penn States and the Pitt. Those P5 schools, and they always said I was like too small or too slow, and they offered me preferred walk-ons, and I was like busting my ass. Like I was hungry. I was like, I'm not walking onto a team like after putting in this much work. Like I'm gonna go get my school paid for, go to a team that like I can tell wants me. Yeah. So that's where led to Richmond, and then another decision maker for Richmond was they were awful. Like I can say that now because they're my team. They were awful. Yeah. Like when my senior year of high school, I went to a game. They played Villanova. They got like waxed, like 30 up on them. Yeah. Like. It was bad, and I just remember my DC. He was just a linebacker coach at the time, but he ended up being the DC. he comes up to me and goes, "I'm so sorry you had to see that." Like, he was like heartbroken that I was there for that, because turns out I was their #1 recruit, and I didn't even know that. Wow. So he was like embarrassed that I was at that game watching. He's like, "You come here, we're turning this around, I promise you." And then I would have went in, and they were low at linebacker depth, and I knew that. So I was like, all right, I have a good opportunity to step in and like make an impact early on. So those went into that, and then we get there. I didn't want to go to a team that was like you got the JMUs when they were FCS in our conference, who were already powerhouses. Like, out of the last like 8 years, they won like 6 of the national championships or whatever.
Yeah, the Gucci DiNucci years.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it was easy to go to a team that's like already winning, but it's something different about going to a team where like you can make a meaningful impact and raise the standard there, which was a big thing that he was preaching to me and some of the other leaders on the team when they were reaching out. So that was part of my decision. But yeah, we go there. My first couple years there was like same bad football team that I saw against Villanova, and slowly like the culture started changing, and guys started, feeling like our success was moving forward, and it kind of got them more and more hungry to then my, I guess, true senior year, not this past 5th year, when we made the playoffs for the first time in how long. People were like, damn, like, yo, this is fun, like winning's fun. And then make it back the next year, and we finish the dang thing and get a ring out of it. So like every year was a step up some way. So obviously it wasn't just me by any means, but I think everyone like bought into this idea of like raising the standard and like winning the day. So it was cool seeing a team go from like one of the worst in the conference to winning it by the end of my time there. So cool.
Absolutely. And I mean, it seems like your coach has kind of stayed the same throughout too, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the cool part about it, 'cause then everyone's kind of in it together.
Yeah.
Like you see some of these bigger programs, like Alabama obviously is an outlier because they've had Saban for so long.
Yeah.
But maybe the teams that aren't winning all the time, you see their coaches, they're recruiting these kids for 4 years, hopefully, maybe 5, 6. And these schools are just dumping them after a few years. Like, oh, we're not winning, dump them. And it's like, these kids are going there for you because you convinced them to come change the program. And it's like, it's nice to hear that there's actually stories out there where the school sticks with it.
Yeah.
And look what happens when they do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I always say now, like, there's no loyalty to anyone. Like, whether it's like a coach to a player or a player to a coach, like, loyalty is like out the window. At the end of the day, it's a business. Like, the coaches are there to win so they can get a paycheck and feed their family. Like, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So, like, players are doing the same. Like, if they're going to look at it as a business, like, the player's going to try to get the most out of the program they're going to. But at the end of the day, like, you need to have some, like, sense of loyalty. And going to my 5th year, I had, like, big Power 5 teams, like, reach out to me. Before I was even in the portal. I'm not going to name them because they'll probably get in trouble. But, like, ones that I'm like, dang, like I would have made 6 figures going here. Yeah. Like, so it was like tempting in that aspect. And I remember sitting down with my DC, and he's like, dude, if you want to leave and go P5, like, you've done everything here you could. He's like, I totally understand. Like, we're going to recruit our asses off to keep you here, but I'll 100% support you. Like, I'll talk to coaches for you. Like, whatever you need me to do, I got you. Yeah. And I looked at him and I'm like, dude, the job's not done. Like, because the year before that, we lose in our conference championship game to William & Mary. So we don't get a ring, but we go to playoffs. So getting a taste of that loss in the championship, but going to playoffs, I was like, bro, we could have won a ring. Mm-hmm. So, like, I looked at it and I was like, dude, job is not done. Like, we're getting a ring. And, like, all that money and all, like, granted, it would have been dope to get paid to play football in college and then play in front of tens of thousands of people, 100,000 people. But, like, that's all, like, icing on the cake, because at the end of the day, you want to play football and do it with people that, like, you love. And at the end of the day, you're going to war. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm just going to be a one-year guy and I'm jumping in this program and expecting to put my, like, body on the line, I'm going to do it for people that actually, like, love and actually look at as brothers and second dads to me. Like, I'm not going to go for someone I just met for, a couple months. So it's just a different level of, like, love for your teammates and coaches, and they're obviously looking to me to do big things and help the program. So, like, I don't know, it was just loyalty at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that speaks to, like, it's not even the football player, but just like the
character,
person,
man.
the character you have,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? And that's something that when NFL teams are looking at it, and when like anything
that goes a
in
long
life,
way.
but right now we're looking at the NFL, and it's like, they're looking at certain players like here. And when they look at you, it's like, okay, he decided to stay there for that 5th year. He's loyal to that. He works his ass off. He gets all these accomplishments because of that. Like, that's only going to propel you forward. And I'm sure they're looking at that because obviously you did minicamp already. And I'm sure they're looking at that and being like, all right, this kid, like, he has the mentality. He's got the heart. Like, bring him in here and he'll want to learn. He'll want to do stuff. So, like, that's just a cool story to hear because you don't hear that a lot anymore, especially with, like, the best players. You see them all the time. Like, look at what happened in Alabama. I know Saban left, but they brought in a good coach.
But why did Saban leave too?
That's
because of all of this.
Because of all this. And he said that in his
he literally said it.
Right?
Yeah. He's like, now players are coming to me saying, like, what can you do for me? He's like, dude, like, I'm going to give you an offer to play at Alabama for football. Like, what do you mean, what can I do for you? Like, if your goal is to play football, like, you're asking me, like, how much money can I get you? Like,
that's the wrong.
He's like, let's be for real. So, like, he like emphasized that everyone's getting away from like the we culture, and now it's like me. Like, what can you do for me? How can I make this or do this? So I mean, you just see that. I mean, Saban's a firsthand example of that. So
yeah,
and you resist, my bad, and you resist that temptation too. I mean, like, you're in that position where like you can go to those P5 schools and they're offering you that money, and it's like instead you're choosing the money. You're choosing loyalty over money. I mean, like. Again, like, that does go to show, like, your character. I mean, like, dude, your stats were insane. Insane, dude. Believed to be the first player in NCAA history to earn All-American honors in 5 straight seasons.
That one didn't hit me until, like,
that's insane,
recently.
Bro.
Like, that's crazy.
NCAA history, bro.
Dude, they literally had a call, because my coach, that was one of the selling points that my DC said to me. He's like, listen, like, you stay for a 5th year. He's like, you can be the first ever to be a 5-time All-American. I was like, damn, really? Like, I had no clue. And they had to call. Bro. They had to call like the stat keeper, like the national stat keepers for college football, and they're like, "Yo, has anyone ever done this?" And there's like 5 different press people or whatever that come out with these things. And he called like all of them, and all of them were like, "Dude, I don't think anyone's done that before." So they hit it with the believed to be.
I saw it.
Yeah. Which I was like, dude, why you gotta word it like that? Like, it looks a little phony.
They're
I don't know.
their backs,
yeah, just in case. But
think about how long football's been being played.
No, I know, it's like, nuts.
It's just crazy how, like, you would think with all the good football players that have come along, someone probably would have done it along the line. The
At
fact
least
that
once.
you're probably the first one is insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That hit me crazy. So
you said it just hit you, like, recently?
Like, recently. Like, once I was done, like, out of college and stuff, and, like, the last podcast I was on, he dropped it, and, like, it just, like, I was driving home after, and I was like, yo.
Damn.
What? Because I just do it. Like, bro, this is what I tell, like, the younger kids coming up, too. I'm like, dude, don't focus on the act. Like, make goals and obviously, like, write all your shit down and, like, look at it and, like, manifest it. But, like, don't get so caught up in it to the point where it's, like, controlling how you're playing. Like, you play good football, like, all that accolades and whatever comes along with it. So don't get, like, caught up in it. Yeah, that's why, like, I didn't even take real note of these things until, like, people, like, went out of their way to say it to me. Yeah. So, like, it was never something I was, like, obviously I was chasing it because it would be cool. But, like, I didn't let it, like, mess with my head and, like, oh, don't have a bad game because you're not going to be All-American this year. Like, just play good football and all of it comes. It's just icing on the cake, you know?
Yeah, dude, that's how I always was with playing soccer. It's like, if you play well enough, like, people are going to see it more. Yeah. They're going to talk about it, too. And the other stuff that really ultimately doesn't matter will also come, like these awards and stuff. Yeah. So it's one of those things, just go do your job.
Exactly.
Bill Belichick, go do your job.
Yeah, do your job. That's it.
Everything will come.
Like, people are going to love the numbers. I mean, again, it's a numbers game now, especially if you're talking in regards to the NFL. Fantasy, stats, receiving yards, like yards after catch, touchdowns, etc., all that. Like, that's going to matter to all these external figures that aren't even involved in the league. But, like, dude, you started 50, like, this might not be too, like, wow, insane, but, like, you started 50 straight games in your collegiate career. Like, that's crazy because, like, you have to maintain that health throughout that much time. Like, how do you do it? Like,
dude, trust me, it wasn't even health sometimes. It was like, it was like stick a needle in my shoulder, not steroids.
Catch that?
No.
Like,
Anti-Bryson podcast.
They would literally, I had like turf toe. Y'all ever have turf toe or know what it is?
I haven't had it, but I know what it is.
Yes.
Dude, all my boys were knocking on me, bro. You hurt your big toe, blah blah.
It's
like
bad.
turf toe sucks, bro. Because all your weight is pushing off, and when you're explosive, bro, pushing off your big toe when the ligaments like sprained and torn underneath, it's nuts. But all my boys were knocking on me. But I had that. They would shoot it up before every game, like 8 weeks straight. AC, yeah. AC sprain. They shot that up for like 11 weeks straight. That happened 2 years ago in the first game of the year. So the whole season they're shooting that up. I had a bulging disc in my lower back that I was getting cortisone steroids.
There we go.
Not anabolic steroids.
Nice.
I was getting
Good catch. Good catch.
Hey, don't twist it on me.
Steroids, I got so big out of nowhere.
And then so I was getting that shot up, dude. There was a lot. I sprained my ankle twice, like not even on the field, like outside of that.
Golfing, you know.
Golfing,
Yeah, like golfing shit like that.
Paintballing.
I'll drop another quick story, dude. It's Sunday after a game. We always do like a fast walkthrough, and we all go to D Hall before. It was pouring rain, and there's a hill, and the rain's running down the hill. It's like pouring out, and I go to jump over it, and I step on a puddle, and I roll my ankle, and I hear it just pop, and it's like instantly I get back, and it's inflating, and it's already turning colors and shit. I'm like, dude, what? Did I just break my ankle jumping over a puddle? And I didn't practice all week, shot it up for the game, and then played in it. Like, it's nuts, dude. Like,
Which game was that?
It was going into Lehigh. It was right after this was 2 years ago.
Okay.
After St. Francis going into Lehigh.
Can we get the stats on that game?
Dude, I think I had a decent game that.
I would be willing to bet you had at least 8 that game.
I think.
I
think.
Right, like that. It just makes sense. Like you jumped over something.
I think I did too.
Also, you got to stop thinking and doing jumping over stuff because it just seems to go terrible.
Oh, dude, you know how I got a bulging disc in my back?
Did you jump over something?
No, I tried to dunk a basketball. Jumped. Yeah. So I'm done with the jumping. But
here we go. We had the stats.
What was it? 2021, 22,
21.
Let's see.
Let's see. Team. No.
It might have been 22 actually. Yeah, 20. Try 22.
Yeah, I don't know if
all the years
games.
They all just start to mesh together. Yeah. That's the way when I go.
21 was after COVID. Yeah, so it's 22.
All right, so 20.
Yeah, I can find. I'm never good at this.
All right, whatever.
And then we played at Lehigh on a grass field and like PA crabgrass and stuff. Like it's not like Michigan State like freshly cut like sand in it. It was
Bermuda.
like Bermuda grass. It was like Lehigh, like potholes and divots, and I have like
sounds about
damn near broken ankle, like purple up my leg. I'll show you all the picture after. It was nuts. But yeah, that was something. But yeah, all that to say, bro, half the time like you're just like gutting it out and finding a way to like, because you got people relying on you too. Like like oh my body hurts. Well, everyone's body hurts, bro. Like you guys just gotta play through it and play for each other. Unless it's some like concussion or something. Like at that point, don't push through. But like half the time, I was like banged up. But it's just like the grittiness to push through. Our DC's like motto was we're blue collar. Yeah. So it was like forget about like what I got going on. Like just play ball type thing. So
I guess I have like a 2-part question here. So I guess off that. So obviously you've had so many coaches throughout your career. You've had so many teammates, mentors. Like, was there any like mantra that like, okay, like your DC's like, oh, we're blue collar guys. Like, was there any saying mantra that has kind of just guided you through your journey in just playing football that it's like always stuck with you?
Yeah. I mean, we still drop it today, but at Freedom, like our thing, like Freedom's football thing is our way. And it's like, dude, I don't care what anyone else is doing. Like we do it our way. Like we're not getting away from what we do. And it kind of like kind of carries into like college. Like we had a win the day, like that was our thing. And then like the blue collar mentality, that was our thing. But they all kind of, when you boil it down, it's all the same thing. Like win the day, like that's like our way. Like we're gonna do things a certain way. Like blue collar, like we don't do all this like prima donna. Like just show up and work. So
you didn't agree when The Rock sent all the gear,
dude. That was like 2 years after me. I was sick. I was so sick because he dropped bands on them, bro. My little brother sent me a picture because he plays at Freedom right now. He sent me a picture of like all the stuff he gave. Like I watched the video that he sent in, and I was so mad, bro. And they redid the weight room and everything too. We had a gritty blue collar, rusty bar weight room.
Not anymore.
Yeah, dude, it's soft. Anymore. Yeah, they have no clue.
Yeah.
I was glad. So there was a part of me when I saw that all come out. I was like, all right, they're going out. They're playing against Liberty in a few weeks. Liberty sucks. I know we went to Liberty, but the football team's terrible. Let's be honest. Yeah. And I was like, if Freedom doesn't go out there and absolutely annihilate this team after getting all that gear, they're like, that's gonna be the biggest clown job of all time.
Right?
So they went out there and embarrassed Liberty, which was good. But but off of that, I wanted to ask you: was there anyone at Freedom? Because I'm sure your goals and everything started there, right, or even before that, probably. But was there anyone there when you were just starting to really build on this vision and dream that pushed you and gave you the confidence to be able to chase it?
Yeah.
All right, guys, little break from the interview, but we have a message. Mike?
Subscribe, follow, like our stuff. We're working our tails off here. We got great stuff out. Give us a subscribe. We do all this for y'all. Just give us a little bit back here, all right? We need
like button. Like button. Subscribe button. Do it. Now, back to the episode. I feel like everyone's got someone.
Well, there's always someone pushing for you, but then there's people against you. And I'll start with the people against you. Like, I remember in middle school, I had a teacher who it was like a computer class, whatever. Okay. We were making a graphic about what we want to do in the future, what our dreams are. And obviously I put NFL player, and I'm sure half the class put professional sports or whatever. But he happened to call me, and I said that, and he's like, "Nah, be for real, pick a real job." And then
whoever you are,
so he's a nerd.
Yeah, eat this,
and then
eat that,
and then so he went, looked up a bunch of stats and stuff, only this percent makes it to college football, only this percent makes it D1 football, this percent actually plays in the NFL, and boiled it down for me in front of the whole class. I was like, wow.
I had a teacher do that to me too.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I was sick about that, and I remember that, and I had that all written down at one point. But then there's people that ride for you where you're like, yo, okay, let's go. Mm-hmm. One being Andre Morales, nicknamed Hoagie. He played at Liberty. He was a linebacker. Yeah. But he was my first trainer when I started really lifting and training. I think I started 8th grade, that transition to freshman year is when I started. Yeah. But he was someone that did it at a D1 level, and had success at it. So I was like, all right, I can definitely look to him for a mentor. Yeah. And we would get after it early morning, late night, double sessions, and that's the first time I really was exposed to it. So having someone who did it and was hungry too, kind of opened my eyes to it. And I think having him as the first person I really looked up to for that, it kind of set the standard and raised the bar off rip. So when I looked to other kids in my class, is dude, you're not even working half as hard as me. And that kind of fired me up to keep going and keep separating
separating the bar.
Yeah, the bar from everyone else. Yeah. And then Jason Roeder, the Freedom head coach, he pulled me up. Well, when I was in 8th grade, he asked me to play high school ball. I didn't think I was ready, so I stayed away from that. But then freshman year, he pulled me up to play varsity. So from early on, he saw potential, and that kind of even when I didn't see it, when I was a freshman, seeing seniors in high school, it's dude, these are men going to play D1 ball and stuff. I'm getting bullied by them. So even I didn't believe that I could play with that skill set, but clearly he did. So he rode for me hard throughout high school, and even into college, he was at all-star games and came to games. And so it's those dudes that, well, just as much as the dudes that ride for you and see the potential, the other part that motivates you is the dudes that are you can't do it. Yeah. So I mean, you look at both, and that both motivates you. Mm-hmm. So
that's awesome. I got one more question from Freedom. I watched the tape. Was there ever a moment where you hit someone, one of these poor kids, could have been a sophomore, junior, you don't even know who's under the helmet on the other side, and you thought to yourself, man, I hit him a little too hard? You know what I mean? Because some of those, it's you're playing against some of these teams, and they're terrible. You know, that Liberty team that you had your senior year. Let's call a spade. That team was trash.
Yeah,
and I saw a play where you hit the quarterback.
Oh,
and I was,
dude.
And I was there's got to be some part of you where you almost get up and you say sorry to the kid.
Dude, all right. That's funny because I was just a Liberty kid. You know Dallas Holmes?
Yeah.
Yeah, him and I were just talking about it couple weeks ago. But let's start.
Was it him?
No, it wasn't him.
Okay.
So he was the backup quarterback.
Okay.
And I got him in the game. So he always talks shit on me. And I'm like, dude, I literally got you your starting quarterback job. Like, you have me to thank for that. So, like, don't talk shit to me. But
I did you a favor.
Starting in Pop Warner, though, it's funny because I have videos that my mom or dad would take. And I remember, because I was always, like, a bigger, stronger kid. Yeah. So I would hit, like, these little kids and go down. I would feel bad and like help them up and like wipe them off and like I was just like a total softie. Like I would punch people, but I would feel awful about it. And then obviously getting to high school, like you got to just like be nasty kind of.
Yeah.
Same with college, like you just have the nasty mindset. But that was Todd Ernie.
Right. Shout out to you, Todd.
Todd, I love you, bro. My bad. Dude, I remember. Well, Freedom Lib game, like it's so hyped up. Like, dude, there was so much trash talking. Like it was like bad blood for real. And I had nothing against Todd. Like it just happened. Like emotions were going. Yeah. And I remember he was rolling out and like through it. I must have been like 5 yards away. Like if I'm being honest, I was not within a step or two.
Yeah.
And I just kept going and like probably helmet to helmet, like drilled him. And he went out the game.
Yeah.
And he goes down, like flags thrown. I start walking off the field, and because I thought I'm kicked out the game for sure. Yeah. I was like, dude, I'm done. Like,
offensive holding.
Yeah. But yeah, I start walking out, and I look to my coach. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I got kicked out. What do you mean? He's like, "Bro, you're still in the game." And I run back on the field, but I thought I was done for, bro. Like I put him down. I apologized and everything to him because like I had nothing against him. Like it was dirty. Like I'll be honest. Like I'll be the first one to admit it.
Probably felt good at the time though.
Oh yeah, it felt great because we hate Liberty, man.
Like,
that's like one like I felt bad about. Like actually felt bad about because it was dirty. Because I don't see myself as like a dirty player, but that was just like an emotion thing.
It was a statement hit.
Yeah, it was a statement thing.
So we gotta get the boys going here. It's Freedom Liberty. We're let's set the tone early.
Yeah, it was a tone setter. No, for sure.
Absolutely, I could imagine.
What was the score at that time? Was it like 40-10 where you're just like,
so what year was
that? Was
that wasn't my senior year, no.
I think it would have been your junior year, right? I'm trying to think Todd Ernie.
Probably your junior year. Yeah, because he was 3 years below.
Yeah, because we won that year.
Because we graduated
we won that year of that hit. And then my senior year, we were undefeated going into Liberty. And like we were supposed to wax them. Like the odds would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But we ended up losing, and they ruined our undefeated season. Yeah.
Because you guys won districts that year too,
right? Yeah, because then we went and played them first round of the playoffs, and then ended up beating them, and then won the championship. But yeah, we won that game, so I'll take that. But
you got the better one.
Yeah.
The other one that mattered.
Yeah.
That's what we always said when for soccer, we would always split with Freedom, and then we would play them in the playoffs. It was like 3 years in a row we would do this, and we would just destroy them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was the same thing every year. So it was the same for football.
Because it's like at that point it's like do or die. Like you trying to let like the rival. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So was there like
any other position that like you wanted to pursue, or was it just strictly linebacker? Like, did you play any offense, or like had an urge to play a different position?
Dude, I swore I was a running back. I swore it was Christian McCaffrey before Christian McCaffrey. Like, when I played Pop Warner like at Bulldogs, I was a lineman initially, just because I was like somewhat bigger. Yeah. And then I always played linebacker actually from that age to now, obviously. But I played lineman too. And then I got to middle school. No, I actually started playing running back like my last year or so with the Bulldogs. Played running back in middle school. And I was that dude at running back. Because like a linebacker playing running back is just,
you just run people
is
over.
Nasty. Yeah. I mean, just straight through people. Like I have no type of moves, like just nothing. It was one move, like run through them. Yeah, literally head down, like cracking face mask type thing. And going to high school, that's what I thought I was gonna play. Then I started putting on more size to like play with these older kids at linebacker, and I guess they thought I was too slow. I don't know. But I ended up playing fullback and tight end there, which was still cool. I still got to touch the ball. Like they would give me like the 1 yard dives, and I would jump over the pile. Like senior year, I was like 7 for 7 for like 7 yards. Like, it was great. Like my stat line was crazy. But yeah, it was fun. But I definitely like defense more because I always tell people like once you do your initial job, like all right, say I have the A gap. All right, the running back's not hitting my gap. Now I just play football and I run around and play freely, and I get to hit people instead of being the one getting hit. So
that's true.
I mean, I get to deliver the blows, but basically it's like free for all once you do your initial job, and like you never know what you're gonna see or get, which I think is cool. Whereas like on offense, you have a set play, like you have to execute the play. On defense, you have a set job at first, but then after that, it's you just play football and be instinctual and be an athlete. So that's why I thought, like, especially linebacker, where you can cover people, drop into coverage, but you can also blitz, sack a quarterback, like chase down a running back. Like, you do everything. So that's why I'm biased, obviously, towards linebacker, but it's the best position.
Did you enjoy dropping back into coverage? No, I feel like you just wanted to blitz and just attack everybody.
Dude, I just wanted to go. All dogs go. Yeah. It's especially when you're covering like a slot or like a running back. Oh, dude, it's awful.
Man to man, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, man. You hear a man call, you're like, bro, really? Like on the goal line, you want me to be man on them?
Then you get that one pass deflection, you're like, ah.
Yeah, and then you think you're Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. But yeah, I like blitzing and hitting running backs. But I'll do it all. So
perfect. Well, hey, let's touch on minicamp a little bit.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I mean, how'd it go? Just as a whole.
It went good. One, just super blessed to just get an opportunity because, like, there's guys from my team and, like, guys I got close with over the years that should have had a shot and didn't even get a shot. So I was, like, blown away, like, how cutthroat it was in that regard. Like, our running back, Savon Smith, dude's a freak. Like, and he's been through it all, and he's grinded some stuff out. Like, he deserved a shot, and he didn't even get one. Shout out Savon Smith. But yeah, like obviously everyone wants to get drafted, and it was actually looking that way. Like it was supposed to be the last few rounds, if not like priority free agent. And I hit some adversity when I went to training, busted up my knee in an all-star game. So like the whole training was altered. I didn't run a single 40 until the pro day. Like my whole training was completely flipped upside down. So that kind of hurt me a little bit in terms of like times. And it was really just the 40. They put so much weight on the 40 these days that if you're not hitting what they want you to hit, it's a red flag. But, and I mean,
like, why is that? Because I look at other sports, and you can look at the whole pro day as a whole, but I feel like football does really focus on the 40.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, you could be the top in every other category, but you're 40 times.
Dude, let me put it in perspective. Exactly.
It's like, but why?
Dude, in bench, I would have tied for first at the combine with 21.
Okay.
In the 5-10-5, I would have been first at the combine. So that's the shuttle. And then in the L drill, I would have been first at the combine out of all linebackers. So I'm looking at that, and I knew my 40 wasn't going to be hot because I ran it like that was my first time running it, and I had a bum knee.
Yeah.
But like I saw those times, and I'm like, yo, like I crushed those. Like I had a so 40, like they can suck it up. Yeah. But like literally, my agent calls, and like I don't get drafted, don't get a priority free agent signing, and my agent calls, like my DC calls, and they're like, dude, if you ran a good 40, like you're getting drafted. Especially like how the other guys did, and when guys got picked up.
Yeah. Like
he's like. And obviously, like, don't look back at it now. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, it's in the past. But that's, like, one thing where I'm like, damn, bro. Like, one little thing set me so far behind and, like, changed things. But, like, stuff happens for a reason. Like, yeah, I don't know why it happened and where it's going to take me. But, like, there's a reason for everything. Yeah. But, yeah, it sucked. But, anyway, I was fortunate enough to get invited to the mini camps. And just going in and, first of all, I pull up to the Jets. And I park my little Buick out front. Like, I see mad sports cars and stuff. I'm like, yo, all right, come on. And then I'm walking in, and I see a blacked out, matte black Rolls Royce. Like, the little angel or thing on the hood is, like, diamonds all over it. I'm like, yo, who the hell is driving this? And I'm walking next to it. Rolls down the window, Sauce Gardner.
Boom.
I'm like, yo, what? And I'm like, yo, that car's hard, bro. He goes, thanks, bro. And just pulls off. I'm like, yo, this is wild. I go and I get fitted for like all the Jets gear, get my helmet fitted. They have a box of gloves, and they're like, yo, pick out what gloves you want, like cleats, hat, all this stuff. Like endless gear. It was nuts. Yeah. And then being in the facility and just being around like NFL coaches that like you watch on TV. Like it was just cool just being there, like super like humbling. And then I go to the Giants. I'm sitting in the training room getting my ankle taped. Daniel Jones sits next to me on the on the thing. And we're just chopping it up in there. Like, it's so crazy. And all these dudes are, like, good-ass dudes. Like, you would think they'd walk around, like, thinking, like, they're, like...
Not shit.
Yeah, like, they're just above everyone, but they're all, like, down to earth. Like, they're just dudes. Yeah, they're just good at their sport. I mean, granted, you probably have a handful of assholes, but, like, the majority of them aren't what people, like, think them to be. Like, just because they drive nice cars and wear chains, like... Bro, they just got money because they're good at their job, but like they're just dudes, yeah, like they're just normal dudes. So I mean, that was cool seeing that. One thing that was really disappointing though was the NFLPA changed a bunch of rules. So I had a buddy who graduated 2 years before me. He went to the Jets and Steelers for minicamp. He sent me his script of the practices, and he had like 3 practices. They were all 2 hours each. Like they did team on team, like offense, defense. They did Skelly, they did one-on-ones, so they did like a normal practice, tryout type thing. So that's what I'm expecting. And I get there, and I look at this script, and it's like 2 days of practice, an hour each. It's like 10 minutes of warming up, 10 minutes of like position drills, 10 plays of 7-on-7, and then that's it. So I get there, and I'm like, what do you guys like actually like want to see out of us? Like, what can we show in this little amount? And, like, we have how many backers there? Like, there's probably 10 backers there for the Jets. So we're all rotating reps, too. At the end of the day, we probably got, like 4 reps. Like, it was awful.
Gotcha.
So, like, there's not much. Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt, too. So, like, what can I really show? And I was like, all right, maybe this is just a, like, Jets thing, you know.
That sounds about right.
That's what I thought, too. Right. I was like, yo, thinking of the Jets, this is some BS they would do. And I was like, we'll go to the Giants. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll be better. Please tell me
it was worse.
It was worse.
Thank God.
Dude. Thank God. Well, because for the Jets, they did 2 7-on-7 periods. It was, like, very limited plays. You still got, like, 6 total reps probably for each practice. But then I get to the Giants, and they do 8 total plays of 7-on-7. And each linebacker got 2 reps per practice. So I'm basically doing warm-up, 10 minutes of, like, position drills, and then 2 reps of 7-on-7. And that was it. And I'm like, what can I possibly show you? Like, we're not touching anyone. We're not, like, reading and reacting plays. Like, so my agent reaches out to both teams. He's like, what'd you think of my guy? Like, how'd he do? And they're both like, dude, he did good. He looked good. Just didn't really jump out at us necessarily over these couple of days. And I'm like, dude, what did they want to see?
Yeah, like you weren't able to.
Yeah, so like that was like really disappointing to me because I looked good in everything I did there, like in terms of indie, like my 4 reps I did of 7-on-7. Like I was like super clean. Like obviously I'm comparing myself to other guys there and like stat wise in college, and then just my time being there. And I think, like humbly, I think I was one of the top like 2-3 backers there out of both like teams. So that was a little disappointing. But my agent's like, dude, guys go down all the time. Like you never know. It takes one guy to go down. Like they might just need another body for special teams, and from there you get a call, and then a door opens, and then you just perform and you earn your spot. So I mean, there's constantly like a rotation of guys getting taken in and getting dropped. So you really never know when like your opportunity will come. It's just like how long are you willing to push it? Like I know some dudes that have been training for like 9 years, like playing CFL, UFL, indoor football, and like still waiting on their shot at the NFL. And like gets to a point, like I respect the hell out of those guys to go that long and still have that dream alive. Like, dude, that's mad respect to them. But like at some point it's like, all right, let's be real. Like if my dream's to play in the NFL, 29, 30 now, like, all right. So it's really like, science. It's really, and like NFL looks at that too, and they don't want a guy with miles on them. They want a fresh guy. They're trying to get him at 20 years old out of college. So it's really like, how long are you willing to push it? Like I know guys that like didn't get signed right away, and they're like, all right, like I'm gonna go into the real world, make some money. So it really comes down to like, like, do you want to keep grinding for this? Like, is this what you want? So, but yeah, it was just super cool being there. Like just having the opportunity, like whether it works out or not, like having the opportunity and having the pictures and saying I did it. Like it was like it made everything like worth it at the end of the day. So
just cool. For Mike's sake, I need to ask this. At the Jets facility, were the vibes good enough that they could win double-digit games? Because if you say no, he will be ruined for the next 3 months.
Nah, be honest, bro.
Dude, I like compared to the Giants. No shit on the bro. Sign me if you see this.
Giants
like,
are a teams.
I'm not talking trash, but the Jets were vibing. I'm not gonna lie. They were vibing, and like the head coach, what's his face?
Bob Saleh, baby.
I knew it. I was just quizzing him.
Adam Gase?
Dude, he was great, dude. He came in like he was having a good time, but like he was about his business, but like you can tell he was like vibing with the players and stuff. And like, dude, the crazy thing is like I was dropping like the yes sir, no sir, like, oh, coach so and so. They're like, dude, don't call me sir. Like because at that level, like everyone's grown ass men. Like you got some players that are older than coaches.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone's on the same like level of like mutual respect, whereas like in college like you're expected to hit the yes sir, no sir. So that was like weird. I had some coaches that were like, dude, you call me sir again, I'm punching you in the gut. And I'm like, yes sir. Oh, I mean, yeah. So I had to catch myself a couple times, but like it was cool, like because it was like a real like personal like friendship level, whereas that differed from like college, whereas those were like your bosses basically. So that was different, but yeah. And I like everyone that was there, like being able to, because at the end of the day, you're competing with these dudes, but like everyone was so cool because everyone was doing like had the same journey, like everyone's been through the ringer, like so everyone respected everyone, like we were all competing, but we were like cheering each other on during the drills. So, like no one was like wishing anyone like would mess up or anything. Like everyone was rooting for everyone, which was like real cool. And I've actually been talking to some dudes that I even went to that I was in camp with. So yeah, it's super cool seeing that. So it was a good experience overall, besides like those rule changes and how much we actually could do.
Yeah, that
was like a last minute thing too. That just like
it was literally like within the last year or so. Yeah, I think last year they started cutting it down, but I think they still had more compared to this year. Because now like seasons are getting longer. Like, dude, y'all hear that they're trying to like cut out preseason games too?
Yeah. They're trying to like lower it down to like 2 games and then make an 18-game season.
But then they even mentioned like I saw like an interview or something. They're like, dude, I just want to cut out completely, like preseason completely, just to save bodies. But like you look at the small school guys like me who like need exposure. Like we had a running back that got signed just for preseason. Like those are guys that need the opportunity to go in and actually do something, because like really it's the draft guys that like have more or less a guaranteed spot. So these guys that are free agent signings or just minicamp guys, they need these opportunities. I
mean, so I understand why, to be honest,
but like it's like shitty for like the under recruited guys.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
it's that. I mean, New England, half of their Super Bowl teams wouldn't have even been there without the preseasons. You know, like Bill Belichick was getting these guys out of like Timbuktu, South Dakota, and he's bringing them in, and it's like no one knew their names.
Dude, I promise
like,
those
not
are
one person.
Those are the dudes that grind too, because like FCS guys are so overlooked all the time.
They bring the team together, man.
Yeah, dude, they're all like dudes that just know how to put their head down and work. Like they don't expect like a Lamborghini sitting in front of their house like the FBS guys. Like no shade to them, like that's just what it is now. But like they don't expect like things to be given to them. Like they don't expect a job. They just expect like to show up and do work and then earn it. Yeah. So I mean that's why I love seeing like FCS guys get drafted, signed, and have success, because like those are dudes that just work for everything and don't expect anything in return. So
no, I love that.
Yeah.
But hey, you guys got anything else?
That's good stuff, man. You answered literally every question.
Gassy, did you have any questions?
You got anything?
Yeah, how'd the old man look at Jets minicamp? Did you get to see him at all?
Dude, he wasn't there. I was blown. We were actually joking. My brother comes up to me. We're having dinner, and he just drops. He's like, dude, do you have a shot to hit Rodgers? You better take him out. I'm like, yeah, that's the easiest way to get like a plane ticket back home. Like, yeah.
You would have been kicked off the field quicker.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't have had a shot. I wouldn't have had. They would have scribbled my name out so damn quick.
Dude, you would have been out of that facility before you.
Dude, I probably wouldn't even had to like been able to pack my stuff up. They probably would have kicked.
No, they would have.
I would have been escorted out, bro. I would have been arrested, maybe in cuffs.
Honestly,
dude. But I was hoping I saw him, because like I saw Sauce and like Daniel Jones, like I said. But like he's the one dude. It's like I would have been like, yo, this isn't. I told my parents like I'm not gonna fangirl over them, because like it'd be weird, like because we're all like in the same thing. But if I saw Aaron Rodgers, I was gonna. I was gonna lose it, because that's just dope.
He's probably used to that, though, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, everywhere he's gone, it's probably like he walks in and everyone's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, dude's a legend. Let's be for real. Like, it's nuts, dude. I hope he comes back and kills it this year, though.
Are you a Jets fan, bro? You got to be a Jets fan.
I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. All right, I'm an Eagles fan though. Let's be real. Come on.
Oh, Saquon of the Birds.
Gang. Dude, I love that, bro. Quan's gonna go crazy. That's one dude. All right. That's one dude that, like, I don't care where he goes, like whether it's with the Cowboys or the Eagles, like, dude, I just want him to have success. Like Valley Boy, like, and like, let's be real, the Giants weren't giving him anything to work with. Like, he has all the talent possible. If he just has someone helping him, he's gonna be stupid.
That was generally that was their best move, was letting him go, because I think everyone that is a Saquon Barkley fan, besides the Giants, who wanted him back, like, I've been saying this, like, dude, you just got to let them cut the cord, let him just revive his damn career.
Right.
And like, no other place to revive it than Philly. Like, good old line, you got Jalen Hurts there, you got weapons all over, man. Like, he's gonna eat.
Yeah.
Bro.
And
he's
like,
gonna eat.
The one thing is, like, they got like receiving threats too. So like, that's gonna, like, with the Giants, like, all right, who's getting the ball? They're gonna try to give it to Saquon, but he has no line. So like, let's attack him. Like, that's their dude. Now you have too many dudes around you. You have Hurts playing quarterback. You have stud receivers. Like, you don't know who's gonna have the ball and when. So now that just opens up more opportunity for him. And then you have a good old line. So like, yeah, I'm hyped for him, bro. So that's gonna be dope. I wish I got to play against him. I was like 1 year behind, dude.
Still might.
Played against him in basketball.
Yeah. I didn't play against him in college, but
this would be the best time to play him, you know?
Yeah, right? Dude, that was one of the things, too. When I was in high school, I wrote on my wall in my room, like, in Sharpie. I used to cover my wall with, like goals and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to tackle Saquon Barkley in the NFL. Like, that was like, it was like on my wall.
Coming, dude.
So, yeah.
It's coming. I mean,
that'd be sick.
And the best part about doing it now, because you do it in college, like, all right, you do it in high school, all right.
Yeah.
Do it now, you're like, you probably have a 75% chance that makes it onto ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Just because they're going to show Saquon.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's a good chance that you lighting him up gets on ESPN. And just
dude,
goes.
even if he ran me over and ended up tripping because he fell over me, dude, that's a tackle.
That's a tackle.
I'm taking it and I'm posting it on the gram. Like,
dude, I played against him in basketball, and he drove in on me.
You played ball?
Well, so my freshman year, I got pulled up to JV. He was playing JV ball, and I see him like, dude, that's Saquon. Like, that dude's a stud.
Dude, I didn't even know he played basketball.
Yeah, I only played 3 years, but JV was brought up as a freshman. He's driving it on me just full speed. I'm like, oh shit,
He's
man.
playing like a running back.
So I just put my hands up, drives in, misses the layup. I get the board. I'm like, let's go.
That was all you, man. That was all you.
Contest it up.
Saquon's got nothing on us.
You'll get on here soon, buddy.
Clap back, bro. Clap back.
Get on here for my dentist to show up to the house.
Yeah, we won't go through that one again, because I feel there's a part of me that thinks that was a criminal thing. So we're not going to get into that. We'll talk about that after. But no, you got anything else?
No, that's awesome.
But
that's great.
thank you for coming on.
Man. Nah, appreciate y'all, man. Love it.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thanks for
y'all.
the time, man. That was great.
No doubt.
Also, check our stuff out. Like, subscribe, watch this. It was great.
Follow the boys, man. They're putting out great content. Dude, they're grinding. They got the whole studio set up in the basement. Like, they're hustlers, bro. You got to respect game. So give the boys a follow.
Respect the work, boys. We out.